All right, I promised we talk more about the spiritual aspect of things in this video. So that's what we're going to focus on. So, as kind of all of this is so important, is that it has to come from a place of realness, right? You know, one of the things I said in our workshop when we met as a group is that I can tell you to do this, do this, do this to respond, but that's just me telling you, and you're just executing what I tell you. You know, build, play more dynamics, express more volume here. It's like, well, that's just you expressing more volume because I told you to express more volume, as opposed to overwhelmed with thankfulness, overwhelmed with hope, overwhelmed with joy, and it comes out of your instrument. It comes out of your countenance and how you present yourself. These are all things that are byproducts of our relationship with God. If you're not tight, and I know we've all experienced those times where we don't feel tight with God and you're not dialed in with Him, well then how we express ourselves in worship through our instruments is going to be less fruit filled. It's just a reality of they work together. It can't come from a real place if we're not at the real place, right? So how do we get there? Well, of course, there's the basic disciplines of our spiritual life, of course. Reading the Bible, praying, engaging. You know, one of the things I personally, for me, try to make a point of doing is thinking about in my day-to-day, my Monday through Saturday, how am I living that's honoring Him? You know, because that's the fruit, that's the fuel, rather, that's going to produce fruit on Sunday morning. That's the fuel. It has to be the fuel. Otherwise, again, it's shallow and it's empty and it doesn't have that depth to it. And are we going to be completely dialed in every week? No, we're not going to be completely dialed in every week. This is the reality of life. But our goal is to be dialed in the best we can and to keep that, develop that relationship, keep growing that relationship. You know, one of the things I encourage the team, and I'll leave you with this in this video, it's kind of short, but I really want you to think about it, is looking at the lyrics of the songs for the week, doing some searches, some scriptural searches, finding out where does that come from? Where are those concepts coming from? Meditate on those, read through those passages, reflect upon that in your own life. You know, take a song that we're doing and really look at what does it say? How do I come to that response? What's going on in my mind, in my heart through that? And that takes time, right, to do that. So I highly encourage that. That element is so important into what we do. Again, it's the fuel. It's the fuel for Sunday morning. And if we are engaged, if we are doing this and we are prepared spiritually, we are prepared content-wise, we are prepared musically, then we can come knowing that we're doing the best that we can and working to lead people into His presence. We can't control how they respond, but we can know that we were real and we were sincere with what we were doing. So let's think about that. I want to talk a little more about flow and how the Holy Spirit leads and guides through flow, some of the mechanics of flow. That's going to be our next talk. Okay? All right. Thanks.